The following is a Candlepin Stars and Strikes rebroadcast featuring some of our most memorable programs.
WNDS Sports and Tri-State Megabucks present Candlepin Stars and Strikes.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. He got it. Ready for a spare.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is sponsored in part by Washington Toyota Dodge Nissan. Looks good.
Looks good. That's the goal. It's a goal.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is produced in conjunction with the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association. And now your hosts, Doug Brown and Dan Murphy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome once again to Park Place Lanes here in Windham, New Hampshire for another edition of Candlepin Stars and Strikes. I'm Doug Brown along with Dan Murphy, and last week we had one of those matches that we like to see. It's tough for the guy who loses, but a match that goes right down to the final box, and Joe Tavernese coming from behind to get the win.
Yeah, it wasn't unusually high scores, but certainly was a fun match to watch. I'm sure Joe appreciated a little more than poor Rick. You know, that last game was rough, Rick, but Joe's a tough competitor, and this week he's trying to make it 2 in a row.
All right, let's meet our two bowlers then as we introduce our combatants here on Stars and Strikes. First of all, after a win last week, our number 5 seed from Lynn, Massachusetts, Joe Tavernese.
Okay, Joe averaging 125, has a high single of 207, roll-off score 663.
And last week, in case you missed it, trailing by 29 pins in the third and final game, Joe rolled a 370 to come up with the win. So now he tries for his second win in a row, and he will face our number 3 seed from Milford, New Hampshire, Bill Kaufold.
Okay, Bill comes in averaging 127. He has a high single of 210, and his roll-off score 670.
Not very often, we were talking about this before the show began, not very often that we have two guys on that have each thrown 200 games.
That's right. I'm going to have to ask them who kept score. They probably kept their own score with scores like that.
We have a bonus ball contest, as always, coming up at the end of the hour as well, and that continues to grow. It's up to $150 this week, so stick around for that, and a terrific matchup coming between Bill Kaufold and Joe Tavernese when we come right back. Don't go away. Once again, the 5 bowlers that have qualified for this series on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Joe Tavernese with that exciting come-from-behind win last week, now facing Bill Kaufold, our number 3 seed. The winner of this match will get Brian Fuller in our semifinals next week. And then the championship match 2 weeks from today with Rich Clark coming in that number 1 spot. So Joe Tavernese, after that 370 last week, recording his first win here on Stars and Strikes last Sunday.
And he'll start with a 4 horsemen to the right. Everything but the head pin. And a 10 box.
Joe started out very slowly a week ago, 113 in the opening game, then 121 in the second. And then came back with a 136 third game to get the win. And let's see if this is, in fact, a spare leave. The wood turning more favorable on the 3 and the 9.
Now it's moving out in front now, too, so much rather with the wood than without.
Yes.
Come on, Bill, where you at him?
And now Bill Kaufold.
Well, let's see. The 4, the 7, the 8, and the 9 pins. Triangle in the left-hand corner with the 9. He'll play the triangle, I'm sure. Too far left.
Eight for Bill. Last time Bill was here in singles competition was back in January. Threw a 400 to beat Guy Pichette and then lost in the semifinals to Bob Kelly. Pull that one to the left. No.
And a 10, 18. Joe filling a spare in the second. Oh. Rocked the 3-pin backwards and not enough to knock it down, but a big 9 fill on the spare.
And another spare. And Joe rips down 9 more. This time the 4-pin. And 3 in a row.
Right where we left off last week.
Kaufold a little high that time.
3, 6, 10 on the right with the 4-pin.
Great shot.
Well, if you're going to get your first mark, that's a great one to start with. You see the replay. Beautifully done.
And the 8 drop.
5 and 8, and going to want that piece of wood to stay out of the way. Give himself a clear shot at the 5-pin. Now he can get by, but not much room. Oh, he did, and he still chopped the 5-pin straight back, leaving the 8.
And the wood would have been no help either. So he'll settle for the 9 bucks.
Pull that one left, just 4 on the spare.
.71 first half for Joe Tavernese. And will he get the break? No, on the 5-pin.
Nice little guide to the left against that 5-pin. You're going to miss this one. Miss it left. Spare in a 6th.
3 single-pin spares already for Joe Tavernese.
4 out of 6 boxes are marks, all spares. So looking for our first strike of the match.
Bill Kaufold was telling us before the show that 210 is high single he threw about 7 or 8 years ago. In Milford, by the way. Joe Tavernese with that 207 high single that we were talking about earlier. He threw that just a couple of years ago.
Right. Post office lanes in Lynn. It's talking to both of the bowlers about that game. And
you just wanted to know what it was like.
yes, that's for sure. I really would. And they both came about it 2 different ways. Joe had 5 strikes in a row. And he can't remember if he started out with 5 or it happened the second through the 6th frames. So right away he knows he's got a shot at 200. But Bill, he had 4 strikes in a row, but they started this 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. So all of a sudden you're up there. He didn't know he had a shot at 200. Billy's struggling right now.
And he comes up short again. That'll be a $7. A 6 and a 7 for Bill Kaufold. So that is going to leave him in a pickle. Joe Tavernese with a 23-pin lead plus this fill. Seven this time.
Shoot at the 1, 3, and 6. No wood. Makeable spare leave. Trying to make it 2 in a row here. Outside and around the 6-pin.
$98 through 7. Ooh, 3, 4, 6, 7. He almost had a run at it.
Didn't miss it by much.
Takes a 9. So 2 open frames. Chance for Bill Kaufold to get some work done here.
Come on, Bill. Throw it like you mean it. Come on.
Oh, big strike.
Just what the doctor ordered there. Kind of lost a little bit of confidence and put that ball right in there. And it's the best thing that could happen right now is have him throw a strike and loosen himself up a little bit. Ball breaks from right to left for Bill.
Didn't quite get up there that time.
Four horsemen left plus the 9.
And everything but the 9. But he does take advantage of the 2 open boxes as he puts up 29 pins and takes 10 pins off the lead. It's now down to 20. You just saw Joe's roll-off score. And the roll-off for this series on Candlepin Stars and Strikes held at King Lanes in Manchester. Our good friend Dan La Rochelle and the gang. Thanks to Bob and all the rest of the folks at King Lanes for handling all the details for us. Almost
converted that. Just a similar shot that he had on this lane 31. He's 117 with 1 box to go.
And it's a strike. First strike of the match for Joe Tavernese. It comes in the 10th. $127 plus 2 shots. Oh boy. Chops out the 1, 8, and 9. Which, as we've said many times, may be better than the spread eagle. You have at least a chance with that 5-pin in the middle. He'll take 7 on the strike, a 134 for Joe. And Bill is through the heart.
Let's
see on the roll.
Oh, if that falls, it's gone.
But it never did.
With the wood there, if it fell backwards, certainly would have probably rolled into the 7-pin.
Probably deserved a spare there, the way the wood was going over.
I'd have to agree. Well, we would really like to put up a mark in the 10th to keep the lead at 20. He's facing a strike 7. Well, it's not going to be an easy one.
not quite. So unlike last week, Joe Tavernese will be the one with the big lead. As he got started early with 4 marks in the first 6 boxes, and he will have a 30-pin lead after game 1. 134 for Joe Tavernese to Bill Kaufold's 104. And we'll be back with the middle game here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes after these words. Bill Kaufold trailing by 30 as we start game 2.
Wow, he's putting his hands up. You see him. He wants that wood to stick around. He's got the 8-9 left up, and without wood, it's nearly impossible. But let's see if he can snap this piece of wood off the right side wall.
He got it.
Very nice.
I really didn't think he had an angle on that wood to get it to snap like that, but great read by Bill Kaufold.
There it is again.
That's about the only way you're going to make.
That's for
one
sure.
of the few ways you're going to make the 8-9. And dead on the head pin again, hoping to break up the goalpost, but he'll have it. 7-10.
He's going to have to do a little more snapping of the wood off the side wall. This time the 7-10, though. They're getting further apart. He's got another piece to the left.
Would you play, if the wood separates like that, would you play for the deflection off the left wood, or would you go for the right wood?
I would really shoot for the cap on the left wood.
Yeah.
You know, if you miss it to the right, you still got some pin action, but it's a tough call.
For 2 in a row? No.
I wouldn't play it off the cap. I would probably play the wood on the right, try to snap it off the right side wall.
Captain's second guess.
Let me just push the button and take a 9 box. I'm sure it would really be a relief to Billy to know that I probably would have played the same way. Off target left for Joe.
Uh-oh. Now looking at a mess for the 3rd ball.
What does he do? Go for the head pin or just go for the 2 in the corner? He's going for the head pin and he gets the 1 and the 5. 7 box.
Not an easy pickup.
No.
The 1 and the 5. Joe tries the Brooklyn side this time, and he'll have a spare leave maybe, depending on where that wood ends up.
There's one you probably want to go low toward the 5 pin, clip the wood, maybe the wood will come off the right sidewall and ball carry through for the 5.
Got it clean.
Certainly did. Went a lot quicker than I thought it was going to do.
Mark number 6 for Joe Tavernese. Bill Kaufold has 3. On the head pin again, but once again, Bill not carrying the extra pin.
Now, I need that 4 pin to kick out of there, give them a shot of the 3, 6, and 10, but he has a piece of wood in between. No.
That one got away.
That was the one. 10 and 37 after 3.
This is the ball he wanted to throw the first time. Bill lives in Milford, New Hampshire with his wife Sheila, works as the general manager of the Friendly's restaurant in Nashua. Looking for a spare? No.
And his wife's an attorney, right? She passed the bar exam, I believe, right? The last time we were here, we talked about that? Not that I need one right now, but,
But you
never know. That's right.
Joe just 4 on his spare. Second time he's had a 4 filled today. And he works it out for a spare. 4 horsemen plus the 9 and the 10.
Well, it looked like he hit that. Well, actually, he did hit it thin, but the pins came back for the 2-pin.
Oh, in the pocket this time.
Nothing thin about that one. Four-pin for another spare, 3 in a row.
Yes, sir. And we will take a break with Joe Tavernese back on a roll here. 3 straight marks, and he is in the lead here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Don't go away. Bill Kaufold has some work to do.
Yes, and he's got to start pretty quick. He's a fighter, though. He's going to keep attacking the pins until it's mathematically over. The 5 and 9 here.
And takes it. Mark number 4 for Bill.
It certainly is a long ways from being mathematically over. We're just halfway through the match.
As we learned with last week's match.
That's right.
Still turn that one over a little too much. 6 fill.
1, 3, 6, and the 7-pin. Piece of wood now coming up behind the head pin. Just to the left now.
Well, there is a possibility to get the right-hand tip of that wood and the head pin at the same time. Let's see if he plays it that way. Nope. Oh, tried to make it clean, and the head pin went right around the 7. Pretty good looking shot.
Certainly was, but nothing to show for it.
And the 7 pin is still there.
This was 71 through 6. Take a look at this. Watch the head pin. Boy, can't come any closer than that.
Now Joe Tavernese working on his 3rd straight mark. 7 this time.
3, 4, 6. Piece of wood in between, so you got to tell yourself, I need that 3-pin. Left or right, he's got a chance of making the shot.
Not quite. $10 for Joe. Halfway through the match, he's at 201.
$6-9 left. Trying to make it 4 marks out of 6 boxes.
No.
Too sharp on that one. Chop the 6-pin out.
The lead is 36 for Joe Tavernese. Boy, that looked like a better ball than that. That would looks like it might roll all the way off. It was against the 4 and rather the 6 and the 9 pins.
Right about there would be nice.
That was very strange. It looked like it was right up against those 2 pins, and all of a sudden it started rolling back.
Oh, I would, with Billy's ball, I'd give it a chance. I don't think it's. I think it's too deep for the 7-pin, but you still have the possibility of it coming off the sidewall, get the 3 in the right-hand corner coming across. No.
So it's an 8. 1, 2, and the back row.
Didn't sound too bad that way, Doug. The 1, 2 in the back row. How about the 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, and 10? Oh, everything but the 10. Just can't seem to mount the offense right now for Billy Kaufold.
And that'll be a $9. The ball slipped into the channel. And now Joe Tavernese with a couple of open frames to work on. There's the damage he's done so far today. That ball looked pretty good going in as well. 4, 5, 7, and 10 with wood that should be a factor here when it finally settles.
Yeah, that looks like a makeable spare now. Play the wood for the ball. Take this 4-7. No, didn't listen to me. Didn't take the 7. Continues to pin well. Increases the lead to 38 now.
Quick reminder about our friends at Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan. Come to Salem and save right on Main Street in Salem, New Hampshire. Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan, participating sponsor here on Stars and Strikes. Mark number 9 there for Joe Tavernese.
Spare put up in the 8th.
He continues to pile up his lead. And Bill Kaufold just can't buy a break right now.
Wasn't for bad luck, you have no luck at all. The 7-10. Let's see where the wood settles down. This would probably keep on rolling to the right. Yeah, figured.
We've been waiting for a lot of wood in this game.
I know. You know, same situation. I think you have to play that wood. Well, it's coming back a little bit for him now. His ball breaks sharply from right to left, so he's got a chance. I think he's got a chance the way it's settled down all right in the center of the lane. No, he's too high. No, still wasn't there.
Bill is desperately in need of having something good happen here. Dead in the pocket that time, and still he has something to shoot at.
This is a tough pin for Bill because of the sharp break on his ball from right to left. They have to put a little more speed on, cut the break down.
And he has to stay away from the pin in the channel, and he cannot do it. It's a 9-box.
You run that risk. You had to play it almost right next to the channel.
2-10 after 2 for Bill. And Joe Tavernese working on a spare and in the driver's seat. 9 more.
Oh boy, and the wood swings around, flattens out for him. Another mark. 116 in the 9th, plus the bonus.
That is 4 times today that Joe has had 9 drops on spares. That was his 10th mark of the day. Just catches the head pin, and he'll shoot at the 5 and the 9. For another spare.
6 marks, 2 sets of 3s, the 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th, and now the 8th, 9th, and 10th. I would say you'd be due for a strike, wouldn't you?
134 plus a ball. 134 was what he had in the opening game. This time he'll make it an even 140 for a 2-game total of 274. Joe Tavernese with the commanding lead, 1 game to go here on Stars and Strikes, and we'll get to it when we come back. Joe Tavernese with a sizable lead, 64 pins.
Not unsurmountable, though. Remember last year, it was one of the Morgan boys, Tommy Morgan, threw 190-something and came back with a 90-something and lost the match. So you never know. It's going to take a monumental effort on top of a little bad luck on Joe's part for Billy to get back in it, but we've seen it happen.
Joe's in the Brooklyn pocket, and he drops 9 again. He's been doing that all day.
Just a 6-pin to cover.
No, sliding by. That's the first single pin that Joe has missed all day, I believe.
It's it for the 10 box, 19.
So a little opening for Bill.
He's got to start quick.
Oh. Wow.
Are you kidding me? How did that stay up?
Oh, I thought it was going to stay up again.
The way things are going today for Bill. I says, oh no, watch the replay. Looked like the 9-pin was going to stay up. Look at the wood fly, and luckily one stayed in play.
Bill with the big smile on his face. I think he's owed about 5 of those, but then he follows it with a half Worcester.
That's too bad. Half Worcester right.
Not quite. And the 10 box for Bill, but even with the spare, he only gains 3 pins. And Joe Tavernese is back to work.
He's just about on cruise control right now. Crosses over in the 1-2 pocket for the strike. And that's one thing you want to do when you got a big lead. Put that first mark up. Don't go 3 or 4 boxes without one and then start to hear footsteps coming. Right in the 1-2 pocket again, this time not the strike, but a spare leave. 3, 5, 6, and the 8 pins.
Yes, spare on strike for Joe. He's headed toward a almost certain 400, it would appear. Oh my. Bill Kaufold with his second consecutive half Worcester. Takes 9 this time.
It's at 31 through 3. And it's got to be thinking strikes right now.
Well, will this wood help? Let's see.
Way his luck's going today, nothing is certain. Nothing at all. 2 and 7 pins. Looks like he should just be able to drive the ball or the pin straight back, but there's a second piece behind it.
Bill took a long look, and he's got it. Nicely played. Spare up in the fourth for both bowlers, and we will take a break here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. We'll be right back. Joe Tavernese working on a spare. And he may have another one shortly.
Oh hum, just another 9-pin drop in the spare. 4-pin with a pretty favorable piece of wood out in front.
Mark that one down for mark number 14 on the day already for Joe Tavernese.
He's a 126 for 400. Whoops, 189. Just 3.
Well, I suppose if you were going to pick a time to have that happen, it would be when you have an 80-pin lead. And a pretty nice out, an 8. So just 21 pins, though, in those 2 boxes, and Bill Kaufold working on a spare. What Bill needs now, though, are strikes in bunches. Six, Phil.
And he'll shoot at the 4 horsemen to the right. Trying to make it 2 in a row. One other time? No, he hasn't. It'll be the first time this match. Looks pretty good.
Yes, he just got it. Boy, the pins are really fighting him.
They certainly are. They're rocking and rolling, and got to hit them about 3 times before they fall down. You'll see the 10-pin just topples over.
That's 7 marks for Bill. He has worked very, very hard for those 7. The 1, 2, 7, and 10 with a piece of wood roaming. And we've seen a lot of that today. Winner of this match will be back next week. Brian Fuller, our number 2 seed, to face the winner of this one in the semifinals, and Bill just misses.
It's just not in the cards today for Bill. Similar shot early in the match where he was able to throw the head pin around the 7-pin, just missing, and that time the 10-pin from 73 through 6.
And Joe Tavernese with the 2, 7, and 10. Maybe makeable, though, with the wood. Pretty good spot. Pretty good spot. Hit that right where he wanted to for mark number 15.
You see the replay.
A little high that time. Just missing. And not by a lot.
It's going to need one more mark for 400. At 104 though, through 8. half Worcester left for Bill.
He's had a number of those today. He's had 3 in this game. I guess all you can hope for on a day like this, Dan, is if you have one, just hope it doesn't bleed over into the next day.
That's right. Yeah. Well, Billy averages 127, so you can see that he's not having one of his stellar days today. Times, too, and he's been putting the ball in there, and he hasn't had a lot of luck either, but this time he knocks down 9, leaves a 6-pin. And the agony is the pins are making him wait.
Right.
Nothing is going right. We'll just block this pin on you. Not quite.
No. And the 10.
Billy's still smiling, folks. So.
Well, I guess in many ways it could be less painful to lose by 100 than to lose by 1. So.
Yeah, you have to lose much sleep over this.
Oh, great shot, Joe Tavernese. Still churning him out, looking for that 400 triple.
That should just about assure him a 400 triple. Decent fill. It's already at 388 plus this ball and a box.
And that will give him 400. Exactly. And he's going to add a little more? No, not quite. $16 marks on the day for Joe Tavernese, 14 spares and 2 strikes. And he finishes with 130 and a 404, and he nearly made another spectacular one in the 10th.
Yes, just not enough to carry that 7, but pretty good effort. And a 404, as Doug said, for a triple. Not a bad day's worth. Now they're going to fall for Billy.
Yeah. We will see Joe Tavernese again next week as he has won his 2nd match in a row, and he will move into the semifinals against Brian Fuller. Boy, even to the last couple of boxes.
Pins are just looking at me. Aggravated enough yet, Bill? We're going to try a little more with you. Well, you just got to understand there'll be days like this. You just hope they don't come too often, but it'll happen.
Well, the thing you have to admire here, as you said earlier, is Bill's attitude. He's not sulking or...
No, he's not that type of guy, and he'll be back in the next roll-off, and it wouldn't be a bit surprised if he's back with us.
He was with us on Skins a little earlier in the season. Well, now this is an unusual leave in and of itself, the 2, 8, and 9, but also the 2-pin is, or the 8-pin, I should say, is way off the spot in the back. Oh, he carried it. Almost didn't reach that 8-pin because it was off the spot. Mark number 8. Wouldn't it be fitting if he were to just throw a strike here?
You called it.
Sure, there you go. Nope,
No.
It's an 8-drop. A split at the end, too. A 118 and a 328 for Bill Kaufold. Joe Tavernese with the 404 makes it 2 consecutive wins, and we're going to try and give somebody $150 in the bonus ball jackpot. When we come back, don't go away. We are back here on Stars and Strikes. Bill Kaufold is here. We have a check for you, sir, $175. Boy, to say that it was not your day would kind of be an understatement. It seemed to start early there.
To say it was ugly would be more more like it. I just wasn't throwing a good ball. I didn't get the breaks, but you got to throw a good ball to get the breaks, and I just didn't have it. And Joe bowled well. He deserves to win.
Yeah, and unfortunate to have a tough day against a guy like Joe Tavernese, too, who really was.
Okay, I earned every penny of this today. So,
Bill, thanks very much. Congratulations. Always good to see you. Bill Kaufold, today's runner-up, and now Joe Tavernese. Now, we've spent all week explaining the rules to Joe Tavernese here on the bonus ball contest, because last week he rolled just a 2. And so this week we're hoping that it'll be just a little bit more than that. We have $150 on the line. Well, he doubled it. He doubled it. It's a 4. Obviously, Joe doesn't want to show anything during this contest stuff.
New bowling balls, I guess.
Well, see, you're getting farther away now, Joe. Louise LeBlanc from Manchester, New Hampshire, guessing 9. So, Louise, you'll be getting a consolation prize. And slide right on in here, Joe. This week you used a different script to get off to a good start this time.
Yes, I did. I come out of the box nice this time. It was, it was still tough bowling against him, but he just was off, and it just made it a lot easier. But it's hard.
and unlike last week, it was the spares this time that piled up.
Yes, it did. Yeah, that's why I mostly throw spares. I'm a finesse bowler like Dan Murphy over here.
As he always says, yes.
He always says,
all right, semifinals next week. You get 2 wins in a row. Brian Furlow will be here. We'll see you then.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, Joe Tavernese with 2 wins in a row. And that's going to about do it here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Along with Dan Murphy, I'm Doug Brown for the whole Winds of New England crew. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next weekend, Saturday for Candlepin Skins, and then next Sunday back here for Stars and Strikes with the semifinals, Joe Tavernese and Brian Fuller. Until then, have a great week, everybody.